The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
All right, we're just about 10 minutes away from 9 a.m. It's your next chance to get to the Hinterland Music Festival, Noah Khan, Vampire Weekend, Hozier, and more. Plus, you get Riot Fest passes just for qualifying. So that's at 9 a.m. right here with Brian and Kenzie on Q101. So I want to pour one out. This actress's death has really affected me. I could have talked about it yesterday because it was more timely then, but I couldn't put myself up to talk about it. I couldn't do it. And today, I think we got to get it out there because if I don't today, I'll never do it.
So it's an actress?
It's an actress. So in case guest Vince Vaughn, he did not die. Also Morgan Freeman. And who did you say, Kenzie, you thought I was going to say?
Elizabeth Berkley.
Elizabeth Berkley from Showgirls.
We talk about Showgirls a lot.
I like Showgirls a lot.
Yeah,
it's
it
a
was
great
cult
movie.
following.
Case has not seen that movie either, by the way.
No,
So
I have not.
good. Probably not on the list of immediate most popular movies of all time that you have to watch.
I don't know. I could bump that up on the list.
I bet you could.
Nah, that's a good call on Kenzie's part. You wait on that. We haven't seen, again, he hasn't seen The Godfather yet. We have to wait on that before we get to Showgirls, which sounds really weird. But
Is Sharon Stone okay?
Sharon Stone's okay.
Okay, all right.
Like her too. But I'll just play this, and then instead of the usual pour one out music for Susan Backlini. She passed away at the age of 77 over the weekend. Now, way back when, 50 years ago, she was in a movie we've all seen, except for Case, that terrified the country of
None for Gretchen Wiener.
of going in the water, and that movie was Jaws. Okay, and you're saying, who is she? I mean, I know Roy Scheider was in that movie. I mean, there's a lot of unknown actors' names in the movie. The shark was the star, and it scared the hell out of everybody. This
Played
movie.
by Johnny Depp. A lot of people don't know.
Yes, Johnny Depp is dead. No, I'm kidding. It's not Johnny Depp. So Susan Backlini was the woman in the beginning of Jaws, where they're sitting there at the campfire scene, and it's so joyous, this beautiful scene with people, young people having a good time, drinking, campfire, marshmallows, and this beautiful woman, Susan Backlini, looks over at a guy that she wants to maybe get with.
Mm-hmm.
Blonde-haired, surfer-looking guy.
Oh, yeah.
And he's not noticing or making a move. So she gets up and starts running through the sand. It's in the middle of the night, like midnight, if you remember the scene. And she gets running and starts taking off her clothes as she's running. She's wearing like kind of a flannel and jeans, and she takes that off, and she's not completely naked until she gets right to the edge of the water, and you see her butt for like a second. And as a very young boy, when I saw this movie, that was the greatest thing I ever saw. She takes this dive. She's a beautiful, stunning woman. She was a championship swimmer in real life. And she takes this dive into the water and goes swimming. And the guy's running after her, saying, hold up. And he's wasted. And he can't catch up to her. And he ends up passing out on the sand, wasted, and does not get in the water with her. And she swims in the water. And she's in a beautiful scene of the moon. You see a silhouette, but you don't really see anything. And it's the first appearance of the shark in Jaws.
Okay.
And she gets bitten, and then this horrific scene happens. I mean, it's horrific of her trying to struggle. And you think it would just go under and that'd be it for a shark scene. There was no music going on. There was nothing. And she is just getting reeled across the water. It's going back and forth. And there's a buoy she tries to grab onto, and a bell rings. And she can't, and she's screaming, and the drunk guy can't hear her on the shore. And then finally she goes under, and she's gone.
Is it weird having a boner during that scene?
I didn't think it was as a kid.
Were you like, am I into sharks?
I mean, she was a stunning. And it set the tone. That was it. She's never done a movie really since then. Mm-hmm. Nothing. And she set the tone for a movie that scared the hell out of everybody to go in the water, even Lake Michigan. Like back then, people were scared to go in Lake Michigan thinking a shark could get in there. We actually found out there is a shark that can go from salt water to fresh water. I believe it's a bull shark can do that. So technically, there could be a shark in Lake Michigan, Kenzie.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you don't like to go into that water.
I'm not going to run into it naked if that's what you're asking me, Brian.
No, I'm not asking you to do that.
I have an idea for the show, Kenzie.
No.
Let's see, this morning you got to get hit by a car. And now you got to go in Lake Michigan when the bull shark is swimming around.
How old were you? 28 when this movie came out?
No, I didn't even see it when it came out. I saw it much later, and I was a little kid. And that's just what, that's the first naked person.
How little?
Like 8.
You're like 8?
Yeah. And my brother
you were
was.
a horny 8-year-old? What
Oh,
a
yeah.
weirdo.
Oh, please.
What?
Every dude listening was a horny 8-year-old.
That is weird.
Check in right now if you were a horny 8-year-old.
Please don't. I really don't. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to answer all these texts.
But that was the first naked woman or person I'd seen in a movie before. First naked woman, clearly at 8. I mean, I didn't have
Jaws
sisters.
is pretty aggressive for an 8-year-old.
Yeah, I wasn't supposed to watch it, and it terrified me. That movie was scary as
Where
hell.
were your parents?
They were home, but in another room.
They didn't care.
Yeah, they didn't care. I
They
didn't.
just heard screaming or whatever.
Well, like, when you were a kid, they had back then it was just HBO, and it would come on. And when they left the room, I put HBO on, and then they come back and you put on like I don't know.
Yeah, but you put on
Discovery
HBO.
Channel.
Exactly.
You put on HBO with the thought of maybe seeing a nipple.
I thought, and I got it. Well, I got
know.
a butt. I didn't get
On
anything else.
Discovery Channel, you could see like a gorilla's nipples.
Don't think I didn't go that way too.
I know.
You're just so horny.
Yeah. But I mean, you remember the first movie where you saw somebody naked in it?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
What was it?
Titanic.
Oh,
They're painting me like one of your French girl scenes. That changes a man.
Now, how old were you?
I was
24.
it was just last week. Yeah.
I'm just guessing. Sorry. Well,
Yeah.
how old were you?
maybe barely double digits. But by the time you were 10 or 11, you're looking for boobs. Anywhere you can find them. Because like we've talked about a number of times on this show, you used to not be able to find boobs the way you can now.
No. So did someone tell you it was in the movie, or did you just see the movie that
I
surprised
just saw
you?
I was surprised by it. I had no idea what was happening. Here I am
Wow.
thinking I'm watching the story about a boat. Next thing you know, I'm seeing nice, glorious pair of boobs.
You're like, this boat's never going down.
Got some good
floaty
good
device.
floaties.
This is the safest boat I've ever seen.
How'd the boat go down? It's just shocking.
It's unbelievable. It's defying gravity.
Oh boy. Do you know one, Kenzie, the first movie you saw a naked person in?
No.
Really?
This rings 0 bells to me.
Huh.
Like, at all.
That's interesting. I wonder if it's a man-woman thing like that too. Like you didn't care about it. You didn't,
Probably. Is I'm not like, woo, balls. I'm 8. I want to see some balls. Like I didn't feel that way. Sometimes I still don't want to see them. I was like, oh God. So that I didn't have the same feeling.
is there a movie like that though with
You're like, thank God. Thank God there's a bunch of balls on the screen right
Is there
now.
a big movie I'm trying to think of that?
Like a big ball movie.
With
With a lot of balls?
No, a big movie with balls.
Well,
I'm thinking like let's say
In
Armageddon.
a good way. Probably not a good way.
Yeah.
the only movie I can think of with full frontal male nudity is Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Oh yeah.
And there's balls in that.
You've seen that? Do you remember that opening scene
With Jason Segel getting naked.
when he's trying to break up with her and she goes, "Would you please just put some clothes on?"
That is now ringing a bell.
No, if I put clothes on, you leave. You said, I know what happens when I put clothes on. You leave.
I know, I tried to
So awkward that scene.
I cannot feel like, yeah, I just don't think it has the same.
Okay.
And then, like, I knew what boobs look like because, like, I had them.
Yeah,
so
that's a good thing.
Oh, nice flex.
I wasn't like, oh my God. Like, I'm like, yeah.
All right. I love people check in on this 312-591-8 if you had the first movie where you saw somebody naked. Like that was it for me. The Jaws and I want.
See, the opposite sex version of this is horrible. Like Step Brothers, his balls are on the drum.
Oh yeah.
It's an attractive thing.
I'm gonna go put my balls on your drum set.
It's never attractive.
It can be a woman too. Women can see women in movies. It's okay. 312-591-80 if you had the first movie you saw someone naked in. That's where we're at.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and we're just talking about the movies where you first saw somebody naked in it. And
You guys were talking about that.
Kenzie was trying. She was trying to reach for one. A lot of people checking in on this one because the woman, I should say, that passed away from the movie Jaws. She was in the opening scene. That was the first, female butt I saw in a movie, and it was amazing. What a great woman.
I was just saying, I think it's very different from a female perspective. Most male nude scenes are for comedy purposes.
Yes.
So it's just, I'm like, I don't know.
Kenzie did remember Step Brothers.
Yes.
And the seeing balls. Oh, that was a great
I
scene.
know you touched my drum set, and I want to hear that dirty little mouth admit it.
Get out of my face, or I'm gonna roundhouse your ass.
You swear on your mom's life that you didn't touch it then.
I don't have to swear to
Because you touched my drum set. Because I know cops doesn't start till 4. Where are you going?
going upstairs. Because I'm gonna put my nutsack on your drum set.
Oh, man. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Nancy checked in. Stripes or Risky Business. I can't remember which was first. Risky Business had naked women, but not naked men in it. So Nancy saw that. Let's see here. Wild Things with Kevin Bacon, Full Frontal.
Wow.
That movie had, who's the girl from Party of Five? Neve Campbell, right?
That sounds right.
Is that the same movie I'm thinking of? There was a threesome scene? No, Denise Richards and...
Are you thinking of porn?
No. It was Denise Richards who was...
the one with the threesome. Okay.
He's doing the Zach Galifianakis math scene, but with all the threesomes that he's seen.
Well, Wild Things...
Wasn't a movie in theaters, Brian. Wasn't a movie in theaters.
It was Neve Campbell. I was right. And Denise Richards and Kevin Bacon and Matt Dillon. Yeah. Got it.
Wait, so what was the movie?
Wild Things.
Okay.
Came
Well, sounds
out-
pretty
That adds
wild.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that appropriately named.
Uh-huh.
There you go. Well, keep the movies coming in where you saw somebody naked. Your first, not somebody, not sometime. The first movie you saw somebody naked in. There we go.
Q101, WKQX, WKQX HD1 Chicago, a Cumulus media station.
Now is your chance to qualify to win a trip to Hinterland Music Festival. Message and data rates apply. Please don't text and drive.
The best fest is Fest Fest. Q101.
Somebody saw a lot of people checking in with Boogie Nights, by the way. Boogie Nights certainly a good one. What'd you say? Oh, Kenzie, okay. Doesn't want to say that one? All right, don't say that, Kenzie.
Oh my God, are we on the
Yes, I'm giving away
When I
some.
first said it, the microphone. I'm not saying that.
Don't say it.
You have to tell me when you turn the microphone on.
Well, there's a giant red light in front of you.
Yeah,
with
it's
your
just
I
microphone.
love when I started the sentence.
In the meantime, text PARTY. Text PARTY right now to 312-591-8300 for your chance to qualify for a trip for two to the Hinterland Music Festival, Noah Khan, Vampire Weekend, Hozier, plus winners pick their day for Riot Fest. Get a qualifier, you get a one-day pass for Riot Fest. So text PARTY right now to 312-591-8300 for your chance to see it and qualify. Sponsored by your Chicagoland Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And of course, Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and we've got people checking in with the first naked person they saw in a movie. As I talked about Jaws, a great lady passed away who was in the opening scene of Jaws, and her name was Susan Backlinia. She was a championship swimmer, and she got in that scene, that opening scene where she runs. You just see her butt for a second before she goes in the water, and then sadly starts off one of the most terrifying scenes and leads to the most terrifying movie of all time, which, by the way, now we've made it an agreement here now that Case the producer has been watching a movie every week, a big movie, because he hasn't seen any of them. Jaws will be Friday.
God, I'm terrified. This is the first really scary movie that I've watched. I don't like getting scared.
He's very afraid of getting scared.
Well, it's just, I don't, like people that are like, oh, I love horror movies. It's like, why? You like just being terrified in your own home? I don't
I
get
like
it.
horror movies.
No, I don't,
I love 'em, too.
Never been my thing.
Well, but of course you love him. You just get a boner the entire night, you weirdo.
Not
Do you
all
just
of 'em.
watch Shark Week with like a box of Kleenex? You're disgusting.
You don't? Duh. God.
No, I wouldn't need a box of Kleenex. Thank you, Brian.
You might. I was like,
Oh, jeez.
All right, people are checking in with those movies. Rob, for me, it was Porky's or Revenge of the Nerds. Also,
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
What? Can you explain what Porky's is to me?
I don't have time.
Okay.
I really don't. I mean, listen, that'll be a movie you should watch. It's an odd movie.
It's not on the current immediate list.
It's not on the immediate list. It's a secondary list of movies you got to see.
Because my only knowledge of it is in The Office, Phyllis makes a reference to Porky's at one point, but I just know it's allegedly like a sexy movie.
Sexy?
Well, a sexual.
Well, I will tell you that Kim Cattrall from Sex and the City, that's her movie debut.
Oh, interesting.
It's
I
Porky.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
I like her.
It's wild scene.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Add to the list.
You're like Mr. Skin. What is wrong with you?
So about 42 minutes into Porky's.
You weirdo.
Sorry.
I've seen Porky's. I don't remember that scene at all.
Okay, well, we're different.
Obviously.
Listen, there's clear differences between us, and that's one of them.
Brian couldn't wait to see Porky's. He thought it meant something completely different.
That's right. Let's see. This is funny from Steve. You cannot forget the bouncing set of tatas that happened a split second in Airplane. I had that on VHS tape and broke the tape eventually. Strip tease from Ryan the Pepper Guy, which had Demi Moore and Burt Reynolds.
Does Burt Reynolds get naked?
No.
Oh, that's a shame.
Nah, that's too bad. Let's see.
We don't get those joys.
No kidding.
Well,
Things are just catered to men.
Here's someone that relates to you, Kenzie. Not full frontal nudity, but Patrick Swayze has that get out of bed scene in Roadhouse you saw, Case, a couple weeks ago, where you see his butt. Now, I wonder if that was a stunt double butt or his butt.
Oh, definitely his butt.
I mean, I could easily see it being his butt.
He's in insane shape. Why would he need a different ass?
Doesn't want his butt in there.
It's not like your ass. You'd have a stunt double.
How dare you talk about my ass? You don't know what my ass could do. In Roadhouse, it might have been.
I don't know what your ass could have done in Roadhouse either, Ryan.
I don't even know where I was going to go with that. I was just defending my ass.
I would have seen your ass in Roadhouse.
I see your ass. That's not really there. I can't believe you can sit in a chair because it looks like you would just shoot off of it.
It's a back with a crack.
Didn't somebody recognize your ass a few days ago?
They did.
Yeah.
I was over at Montrose Beach, Kenzie. So just so you know.
Were you running into the water naked?
No. I was bending over to put Harper's stroller in the Rogue, and a car drove behind me with the window open, and I'm bent over. All you see is my ass in the air, and a woman drove by, and I couldn't believe it. The window said, "Is that Brian?" And I just was bent over, and I say, "Yes." And I just heard as the car drove away, I heard, "Oh my God."
Was your wife pissed? Like, who recognized you just, how often were you bent over?
Well, the stroller takes a second to get up. Megan was putting Harper in the car. And she
but how often are you bent over where that's the position someone recognizes you in?
That's a first. It's a first right there, and I'm proud of it. And I'm proud to be an American. It's a great thing.
Can you get a longer shirt, by the way?
No,
it shows off his assets.
Yeah, why would I?
Yeah, you don't want to drape
Well,
that.
no one's going to recognize you if you get a longer
Clearly,
shirt.
exactly. So Case will watch Jaws Friday. We'll do that at 8:50, that review of the movie Jaws from 25-year-old Case who hasn't seen it. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Oh, Papa Roach, Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Quick reminder before we get to takeaways, coming up at noon today on Q101's Facebook page, Facebook Live, I'll be hosting The Lounge with Blame My Youth. Can't wait for it. So that's coming up at noon. Make sure you just, got to get away from work a little bit. Go to our Facebook page and watch it live.
Something to do during your lunch break.
Yeah. And you know what? If you don't see it exactly live, remember it'll always just be there later on to check out. So, takeaways, 312-591-8300 takeaways from today's show. Case, what do you got?
815 checked in. Takeaway, we don't know what Brian's ass is capable of.
Yep. No one knows.
No one knows.
I don't think we want to.
No one's talking about it.
Well, someday we'll find out. With science and technology's advancements.
Boy, is that a threat.
More takeaways, Kenzie.
Emily, it was an utterly great show today.
Absolutely.
Oh, like cows.
Big cow, like presents today, if you will.
Finally, first-time texter. Want to highlight drama checking in from Aurora. He says, Case or Casey or Cast, not sure how it's spelled, believes 50% of the people are cereal.
That's not what I said.
It is what you said.
Well, that's the takeaway. Thank you, Drama, for listening. Welcome to the party, man. Case, what's on the podcast today?
Well, we learned at the start of the show this morning that a shocking number of listeners have been hit by cars and have stories to tell about getting hit by cars.
And thank God they have those stories to tell. And they got, they stayed alive after being hit by a car.
They're alive.
I know. Well, one of the funniest hours that we've ever had here. All of these stories about people just getting whacked by cars, the fallout from it, whether they hit their mouth on the ground or not, whether they got a ticket for it or not. All of that on the Brian and Kenzie podcast, as well as Kenzie's Crimes from today. And, of course, the first people we saw nude on camera.
A movie, not on your phone. Not that way. You miss them all, miss a lot. The podcast, Q101.com, the Brian and Kenzie podcast, or on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.